All right, we're going to be talking about how to actually horizontally scale an OFM agency. Okay. We talk with a lot of our OFM licensing onboarding calls and just in general, like people who apply. And there's a massive problem. Okay. I know so many people, and I know a lot of these guys that I'm talking to have a horizontal infrastructure, but they're using vertical acquisitions. Okay. This is a problem. Okay. If you look at a general rule of thumb, we say our agency is structured in this way. Let's say you have 5 creators in total. And so since you have 5 creators, you're creating, let's say on your back end, like in your actual company, you're creating the Instagram accounts for them. Okay. And let's say these Instagram accounts are all generating about 1 sub a day per creator. Okay. So what this means is that since you have this set up, you also have a like group of like how many accounts your chatters can chat on at once. Okay. And let's say like this group is like 2 chatters per. The problem with this is, and I know if it's only 1 sub, it's really not that prominent. Let's say you have 5 or 10 Instagrams and each account is doing, let's say 30 paid subs. Okay. You're only going to have one chatter or one group of chatters per batch of accounts because one chatter cannot chat on 10 accounts. Okay. With them that are all doing 30 subs a day. So this is going to start looking something like this, where you have like these groups of chatters on certain accounts, which means you have a ton of resources. And let's say you have 3 chatters per pod, okay? Because, you know, the daytime and the nighttime shift. Let's say this is kind of what your system looks like, okay? You have individual pods for your chatters, which means your back end resources is a lot more hefty because you need somebody who is overseeing these chatters now, which means you have a newfound staffing of, let's say, 1 person per pod, which means theoretically you're hiring 3, 6, 9 people. I guess technically not for this one. Let's say 3, 6, 7, 8 maybe people for daytime and night shift, nighttime and or day shift and night shift. You have a total of 7 or 8 people to manage all of these creators. All right. When your actual business model with a vertical, this is a vertical acquisition, okay, is internal Instagram posting for creators is an internal acquisition, okay? Now, let's say the better model here would just have 1 creator and then have all 5 of the Instagram accounts that are pushing traffic to here. Because then you only need 1 set of chatters. Let's say you only need 4 chatters in total, daytime and nighttime. And the account is now doing whatever number we would give it hypothetically. And now you only need 4 chatters. So instead of needing 7 chatters, you only need 4. You don't necessarily need an account manager for 1 creator, okay? Because you can just oversee that. And so this is generally speaking an issue. When people are picking vertical scale acquisitions and putting them in a horizontal infrastructure, okay? And so how do you get out of this? How do you horizontally scale an OFM agency if these are the ways that you know how to market? And this is going to come with a little bit of, it's almost against what a lot of people think, because a lot of people think that if you're going to have an OFM agency, that you need to be able to scale every single one of them. And you need to be able to drive traffic to every single one of them. And I've made some videos where I've kind of discussed, like, no, you don't. You really don't. You don't need to even drive any traffic to any of them. You can just simply amplify their input and get a better output by, optimizing their page in a way. But one of those things that you can do externally that does allow for scale by increasing your bottom line throughout your entire agency, at the end of the day, is still going to be driving more traffic. And so I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to do anything, because there are some things that you can do, okay? And this is entirely okay to do. This is just going to be having the creator do all of the marketing, but you're just going to give them the tools and the strategies and the help to make them or to help them do it better. Okay. Now, this is going to be something that you're going to need to have a conversation with the creator on, probably during your onboarding call, something along the lines of, one of the things that we can do is we can do a 25%, agreement, 25 or 30%. With that, one thing I think that's important for you to understand is 30% doesn't give us a ton of overhead. We like to hire some of the best chatters in the industry. And these chatters do get paid a lot. Upwards of 15 to, or upwards of 30 to 40% of tips and messages. And so that ends up eating into our profit heavily. But we do that because we want to make sure that you are just simply taken care of. That's the big thing here. And so we pay very expensive, or we pay premium rates for high quality chatters. And so with that, we don't have too much of like back end or extra disposable income that we're able to really market this page, because ideally we, take the money that we earn from you and then we put it right back into your page. And so there's one of 2 things that we can do. We can either split all marketing expenses 50-50, or what we can do is I can just inject certain marketing acquisitions that you just do yourself, but I'm going to help you do it better, right? And so that's an expectation. That's a way that you set expectations. And so here's like an example of a horizontal based acquisition. Instead of you on the back end running these Instagram accounts for a creator, that just doesn't make sense, because this is a vertical scale acquisition on a horizontal infrastructure, is simply taking a Airtable, dumping a ton of creators inside of it, using make.com to scrape all of their videos, dumping all those videos back into Airtable, using some kind of filtration system, such as views are greater than their following. This video was posted within a certain amount of days, so you know it's new content. And then the likes and the comments are above or below something. Okay, creating a very basic filter that allows you to create like some kind of virality meter. And then based off this virality meter, you are just dispersing this content through make.com into a Telegram group, a private Telegram channel where they can't see each other's names. But you're essentially going to add all of the creators into this Telegram chat. Name it whatever your agency is. Let's say New Fans Instagram Bot or whatever you want to do. And you add all of them in there. Make sure that they can't see each other who's in it, which is easy to do. And then allows you to then dump all of those viral videos into this Telegram group that they can then just recreate. And you're going to make sure you put at least 3 to 6, 9, 10 videos in there every single day. And it's constantly scraping new and improved viral videos. And what this is going to do is it's going to give the creators ideas on what it is that they can film. Helpful. Okay. Or what you can do is you can also create like a Reddit organic SOP. Reddit works really well. I know I'm not an advocate for Reddit because it's not a real marketing acquisition. But when we're talking about scaling a horizontal agency, there are some things that you need to twist and turn to make it, viable and profitable. And one of those things is just utilizing things that work at the end of the day, and things that you're not actually dedicating too much of your attention to begin with. And so there's really nothing wrong with that, right? So giving them an organic Reddit SOP and telling them, breaking down exactly what they need to do every single day, how to get approved into groups, how to build their karma, how to post, type of content to post, etc. And then they just do that every single day, right? You teach them once and then they continue to do it. You can almost think of like each of your creators as like individual contractors, to be honest. Like they are a contractor for your agency, growing your income. And so I'm going to hire you so that you can make me more money, right? Instead of thinking like the vice versa. I'm going to make you more money. No, I'm going to hire you, whatever you're a creator, I'm going to hire you to help me make more money. I know it's a weird way to frame it, and so this is one of the jobs that I need you to do. Okay. And it's post on Reddit, and here's exactly how to do it. Then alongside that, you can also take like OFTV and give them an OFTV SOP, a really, really, really good OFTV SOP, and then also supply them with weekly videos. All right. And now these weekly videos could be done through an automation, or they can be done through some kind of assistant that's just sending them videos to make every week. The point I'm trying to make here is if you want to scale a horizontal based agency, you need to pick things and you need to operate in a way that can be done across the majority, opposed to something that just makes more sense to do it on just one creator. Okay. When you start getting into like vertical scale Reddit, it becomes gray hat and it starts to get really difficult. So there's no point in doing that. When it comes to vertically scaling OFTV, you can't really do that. I'm going to make a video on it, and you can technically, and nobody knows about it. I'll make a video on it, but now, with that, what that means is this is something that can literally only be used for horizontal scaling. And so you pick marketing acquisitions, and you could even do an X, right? You could do X.com guide that you simply just give to every single one of the creators, and then tell them essentially showing them exactly what they need to do. But the point I'm trying to make is, and one of the things that you need to recognize is that not every single creator is going to explode using this, right? Not every one of them is going to use it. Not every one of them is going to explode and blow up. But the point is, if you have 100 creators and you give them all the exact things that they need to do, sure enough, a couple of them, maybe 10, 20, 30% of them are going to start to see success, which is then going to drive in more subscribers into the overall, company's, net KPIs. And I think this is one of the things that I made the biggest mistake on when I was initially scaling my agency, is we were looking at like a per creator basis of subscribers instead of an overarching company number of subscribers. And when you look at it in that metric, it starts to make a lot more sense on the steps that you need to do in order to inflate the company as a whole, opposed to individual creators. Anyway, other than that, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, let me know.